Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi 4 tutorial. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to add this little pop-up FAQ section, and we're going to be using a bit of JavaScript to do it. But don't let that put you off, it's really easy to do. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is enable my visual builder so we can build on the front end. Once loaded, let's go down to where we want to work, and I'm going to completely remove this whole section here, this row. And let's get started. I'm going to start again. I'm going to add a new row, the little green button here. I'm going to have one column, and inside I'm going to put a little code block. Now we need to get our button. I'm going to go over here to W3 Schools and use a code we've used before, and I'll put this link below the video. Here's the button code we want, so I'm going to grab that and just plop that code in there. As you can see, there's that button right there. But I'm also going to need some script, but I need to put this in some script tags to put in our code block. You can either write your tags yourself or hit the try it yourself button, and they've got them nicely written into a script right here. I'm going to drop down a couple and put that script in there, and what this script is actually doing is it's calling on a div with the ID of my div. Now you can call your div whatever you want. I'm going to call mine my FAQs, but it's just as long as it's unique. So mine's going to be called my FAQs. Now the button's not very interesting. First thing I want to do is put it in the middle. So let's go over to our design tab. We'll go to our text and just hit the middle align tab. That's put it in the middle there. Now let's style that button with a little bit of CSS. And I'll put all this CSS below so you don't have to copy it while I'm doing it. You're welcome to use it if you wish. So just after button, before on click, I'm going to write style equals, and inside there, inside two inverted commas, I'll make sure I got a gap afterwards before the on click. I'm going to start writing my CSS. First thing I want to do is give it a background color of blue. Obviously you just put whatever colors work for you. As you can see, that's now got a blue background. And semicolon, and I want to make the writing white, so I'm going to say color hashtag FFF, or you could just write in white if you wished. Now I want to make that a lot bigger, so I want to say font size colon, we'll say 20 pixels, semicolon. Always put a semicolon after the last line so you can add a bit more. If you forget to put the colon in there, it won't read the next one. Okay, I want to make it a lot fatter, so let's do some padding. First number is going to be for the top and bottom, and let's say 15 pixels top and bottom. Second number will be for left and right. Let's say 35 pixels left and right. There we go, that's looking more like a button. And it's got a bit of a border around it there. I really don't want that there, so we're going to say border colon none. That's got rid of that colon. And just to make it stand out a little bit more, let's add a little bit of box shadow. So we'll say box dash shadow, and we'll say 0 pix by 5 pix by 15 pix spread, and a color of 444, which is a dark gray. There we go, that'll work fine for me. Right, so we've got our button, and when we click on it, it's going to try and open a div that's called my FAQ. Let's just take one of those Q's away. I seem to have two there. So let's save that and create the div that's got an ID of my FAQ. So let's go underneath. Let's add a new module. I'm just going to add a text module. And the dark blue modules you're looking at there are from a third-party plugin called Divi Supremes, which is excellent. Text I'm looking for. There we go. And I'm going to just copy this over 2 or 3 times to represent frequently asked questions, because I don't have any. There we go, there's my questions. And what do we want to do? Let's give it a slight background color, I guess. So we're still in content. I'm going to give it a white background. Let's make it sort of slightly off-white, like a grey, just so we can see the background to work with. It's fine. Now I want to give it all some space. I also want to give it the title of FAQs. So let's go back into our text. Drop that down one. And we'll say FAQ. We'll make that a title. Say heading 2, something like that. Great, now let's give it some space all round. So we want to go down to spacing. And let's give it, say, 50 pix padding all round. You just put in the 50, it'll put in the pix for you. Hit the chain, it'll do the opposite. There we go. Great. Now at the moment this is visible all the time. In a minute we're going to make it invisible. And we're also going to position it so it pops up right in the middle, so it's fixed position. But once it opens, we're going to need a way to close it. So to do that, we need to copy this button. Let's copy this button. Let's go in here. I'm literally going to copy all of this code all the way down to the closing script tab. Control C to copy. I'm going to go back into my text module, and just above my FAQs, I'm going to drop that down one. I'm going to make sure I'm on the text tab here. Make sure you're on the text tab, not the visual. And just above that FAQ right there, where the H2 tags are, you might not have any H2 tags, it might be just blank like that. I'm going to paste in that code we just copied. Now that's going to put the button right there, and all I want to say on the button itself is either close, or I could just put a capital X to close it down. And I kind of like that on the right hand side. So on my style, where's the last one? There's the last entry, 444. I'm going to say float colon right, and that'll pop it over to the right hand side, as you can see there. Great. So the button's in the right place and it's saying what we want, and that will actually close it once we figure out how to get it opening and closing. Now I need to position this thing and also make it disappear, and also make the background a lot darker. So let's go back in there. We'll do the positioning first. We'll go to advanced. We'll go to position, and under position we're going to say fixed, and it sort of disappears up to the top of the screen there. I want it right in the middle of my screen. That's fine. And I want to pull the Z index up so our button's not visible above it. Just pull the Z index up until things aren't floating on top of it. Z index is the sort of more forward and backwards in the layers that it goes. That seems okay. Now let's put a box shadow around it and make it huge so it looks almost like a light box effect. So we'll say box shadow. Let's use this one. Horizontal position I'll leave where it is. Vertical position is fine. Blur strength, let's put something crazy in there like 500 pixels. Something crazy in there like 500 pixels. That's kind of blurred things out. Let's make it go a little bit darker. Gone on the color, and I'm going to bring the opacity slide up, which makes it darker in the background. So you can still see the background, but things are darker back there. Let's save that. So we need to hide this, and we also need to be able to bring it back, so we need to give it an ID. So let's go back in there. We'll go to advanced. We'll go to CSS IDs and classes. And you remember when I put that code in, I called the actual div that it's calling my FAQ. So that's the ID that we need to put in to hide and show this thing. Now I want it to be invisible to start with, so let's go down to custom CSS, and I'll put this down below as well. Very simple line of code. Just going to say display none, semicolon, and as you can see it's disappeared. So let's save that, save our changes, and exit the Visual Builder. Let's go down to where we were working. There we go. Let's click on this, and there we have our pop-up section. We can close it down with a button. Now click me, I guess I should have that say FAQs. So that's the only thing I need to do, and we're done. So let's quickly enable the Visual Builder. Go down to our button. Hit the little edit cog, and where it says click me, I want to change that to FAQs, and we are done. Great. Now one thing you might notice here is the fact that our actual FAQ section is no longer, you can't find it here. Now if you wanted to edit it or change it or add an extra FAQ, what you need to do, because we've got it hidden, is go down to the purple button here, click on that, hit the wireframe mode, little icon right here, and you can see all your blocks old style back-end editing, and there it is right there. So you can edit it that way. When you're happy, just go back to desktop mode. So we're good to go. Let's save that and exit the Visual Builder. And there we have it. Here's our FAQ pop-up section. Now the first time you load it, you have to click this button twice, but I'm not bothered about that, because if you click on a button and it doesn't do anything, what do you usually do? You usually click on it again. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. There's a scripting way around that, but to keep it simple, I'm just going to leave it like this. So there is your pop-up FAQ section. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please ring the bell, give it a thumbs up, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.